righty, 10:02 on the fan. What's going on, everybody? How are we today? As we reconvene here on the Tiki Tierney Show. Now, Tiki, I told you yesterday, right, that there's an expiration date on the blind, for lack of a better word, euphoria within the Yankee fan base toward the Aaron Judge re-signing. That it would be processed and incredibly embraced, and everybody's pumped up, and then it's right back down to business, like when do things get back to being the way they used to be? And I think you and I are on a little different sides of the fence here. I personally believe this, that there has been an awakening within Hal Steinbrenner. I think the personal touch within the negotiations with Judge made sure he called them up, cash stepped aside. I'm getting this deal done. Aaron, do you want to be a Yankee? Yes, but I need a ninth year. Boom. There's your ninth year. And then the deal was consummated. I think that was the first step of Hal Steinbrenner realizing that it's got to be go time here. I mean, you look around baseball and not just the Astros, but the Padres and the Braves and the Dodgers and the Phillies all loading up, right? We'll see what the Mets have in store. And even if Met fans aren't enthralled with the offseason so far, and I get why you're not, your owner still is on the hook for almost $300 million right now, so he's spending money. I think there are a series of moves coming. I think the Yankees are ready to once again dive back into the deep end of the pool. I think it's go time.
Well, I mean,
it's coming.
Obviously, it's go time because, as we talked about many times, you can't run out the same team just because you re-signed Aaron Judge, which is great. You had to keep him. He's your star. He's trending towards greatness, at least after last season and an MVP. It could have been a second one, but he's been great, and you knew you had to re-sign him. But as we all know, putting Aaron Judge back on the same team doesn't make you a World Series contender. Now, we had a call yesterday that was really interesting. He's like, I'm happy with the Yankees just getting to the postseason and getting to the ALCS. Well, who the hell ever says that? What kind of fan says that?
I'll tell you, people who are now conditioned, and that's the minority, you know that. But
yeah, of course it is.
I know that. But people who are now conditioned to accept what the Yankees have given us the last couple of years. Lose to the same team, lose in the same manner. Well, that's over.
I'm going to throw back what you always say. It doesn't change until it changes.
Well, that's true.
And so the Yankees used to be a certain way. Then they changed significantly where they didn't want to spend money, at least not prudently spend money. And now we're stuck in this little series of years where they're not spending money well and not willing to go significantly over the luxury tax. Until that changes, I don't know how you can believe that it will. Because, look, I know that what needs to be done. I think everybody knows what needs to be done. Hell, I think even Brian Cashman knows what needs to be done. It's a question of actually doing it, of actually cutting bait with dead weight. It's going out and spending that extra $120 million or whatever it may be on the pieces that fill out the puzzle. It's giving these young kids a chance and bringing them up. And hell, if they're good enough, signing them early, like the Braves do, like some of these other squads, like San Diego does. Right? We know what needs to be done. I just don't have faith that the Yankees are actually going to do it.
Okay, aside from the most recent history that they have not done it, is there another reason why you think they won't do it?
No, just simply money.
That's it. Just reacting
simply
to
money.
what? Okay.
I mean, what else could I lean on?
I don't know.
I don't know Hal Steinbrenner. I don't know Brian Cashman. I don't know how dialed in they are to the debts that they have or the bills that come due come January, whatever the hell it is that we heard last season. I don't know any of that stuff, but I know what they repeatedly have done over the last 5 or 6 years.
Well, you know what I know? I know what a lifeless playoff venue feels like because I was there. All right, I was at Game 3 against the Astros, and it was pathetic. It was dead. It was over immediately.
How full was it?
It was pretty full. Listen, it never feels the way the old stadium felt. So that's always my barometer. You know, the 96 run, and I've told you a million times I was there when we clinched against the Braves Game 6. It was wild. And then everything that went down, 98, 99, Subway Series. And those days are over. The stadium's different. The way it's built, it's different. You know, the overhang in right field is different. It's less threatening, less intimidating. The disparity in terms of money spent has changed. And listen, I think this. I think the reason, here's why I think the Yankees are about to change course and become far more aggressive than they've been the last 6, 7 years, whatever it is. Because baseball's changed. Baseball has changed. All you have to do is go back and look at the payrolls from, say, not the mid-90s, but late 90s up until about slightly past the 2009 point. And there were, 4 teams that would spend money, and then everybody else was just listless and really not incredibly engaged and had no chance to sign these free agents. I mean, we're in a different world. And I believe that, Hal Steinbrenner, we've been critical. We want a little more energy. We want a little more accountability for these postseason ousters. And he doesn't provide what we got so viscerally from his dad. But I think at the end of the day, he is a smart businessman. And he's looking around and he's saying, okay, I need to preemptively address this. Because if last October, and again, being there is different than watching on TV, it was dead. And it was dead on TV. It was even more dead, if that's possible. It was really dead in the stadium. He's no dummy, and you feel it. And I think that he knows it's time to change things up. And I'm on the record, man. Listen, when you do, how many hours a week do we talk? What is it, 20 hours a week, right?
Just 5 days, yes.
Okay, 20 hours a week.
4 hours.
When you talk 20 hours a week, I think invariably you're going to make predictions. Some stick, some are erroneous, some are ridiculous, some are amazing. All right, at the end of the day, it's really a conversation. It's fun. It's all that stuff, right? But put me on the record. Rodon is coming. He's coming. I think he's coming today.
Now, what makes you think that?
Because I know that the Yankees know that they need him. Because without him, they will win nothing. So they need a lefty who's got big stones, got a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and he's got good stuff. They know that. To go through these lineups, to get to the world, they know it. They know they need a left fielder. And, all right, you didn't get Yoshida, that's fine. Then it's going to be Benintendi or Reynolds. That's coming. They're making a trade with the Pirates, or they're signing Benintendi. And if they whiff on that, they're going to sign Nimmo. Like, there is not an ounce. And this is the first time I felt like this in a long time, Teak. You know this. I have been howling at the moon about the way the Yankees have not done business the way that I think, and many with me think they need to do business. It's just in my gut, and it's not just about Judge. It's just the game has changed. They've got the money. I think they've heard us speak. The Yankees never had to really listen to us. I think they've listened the last couple of months. I do.
The reason I ask about what the playoff game was like last year is because, and again, you're right, the stadium is it's vastly different than it used to be. It's just a different energy. It's not dissimilar, even though it's a very different conversation from old Giant Stadium to MetLife. A lot of that was just like physically, you felt tighter to the field at MetLife Stadium.
Same with the old Yankee Stadium, too, especially in right field.
Like even the upper deck, you felt like you were still on the field.
Yeah, the new stadium's much more cavernous.
It's like you're a mile away when you're in the upper deck because of how wide the stadium. So just aesthetically, it's different. But the reason I ask is because if the Yankees are filling the new Yankee Stadium, even when you kind of felt like it was hopeless, you know what I mean? It didn't feel like they really had a chance against the Astros. As much as we wanted to talk our way into saying, they're going to find a way. You kind of just knew. It's like, they're not going to get it done. But people went anyways. So until there's a discernible apathy, I can't see Hal Steinbrenner saying, we need to do X, Y, and Z to win because otherwise people aren't coming.
It's an interesting point. It's a good point, but I would have to point this out to you. I think I put quotes around the word apathy. That's a very interesting word, and I know what you mean. But
I'm not saying they're apathetic.
No, I know you're not.
But I'm saying it would take apathy.
I got you. But I think the level of apathy that would infiltrate the Yankees would be far different from the general, more conventional use of the word apathy. Like, it's you can still have 40,000 people there, and the sound and the belief and the energy is trending toward apathetic, but there's 40,000 people breathing in the building, but you know it's not the same.
What game was it that we went to for Judge's Chambers?
That was the Rays game.
The Rays game.
Yeah.
It felt apathetic.
It
felt apathetic.
I was going to take a nap.
It felt like nobody cared.
It was terrible.
What was happening?
No, I hear you.
It was, our section, because Rosarina was out in left field, engaging with the fans, and I mean, I kind of enjoyed him.
Yeah, he kept us awake.
It might have been the most enjoyable thing about that game.
But Hoff, remember how bad was that night? It was terrible.
It was just dead in the.
I agree with you.
It was just dead.
So you're kind of making my point. Apathy's already trickled in a little bit. That's the Rays. It's one of your rivals.
But there's apathy and people are still going. What happens when there's apathy and they stop going? That's when change happens. And I don't know if that's anywhere near where the Yankee fan is right
877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. I said this to Tiki yesterday. We get these calls coming up. Again, I think the Yankees are motivated. I think they finally woke up out of this slumber that they've been, in the last couple of off seasons here, particularly ownership. And I think it's about to change, and we'll see ultimately who's right or wrong. But I said to Tiki, think about how close we were to this. 39 degrees on March 30th, 12, 13 mile per hour chilly wind whipping through the stadium. Me and you and the rest of the shows, Carton Roberts. I don't know if the morning show will be out there only because of the time of the day. Out at the Hard Rock doing the show. Aaron Judge is batting second for the Giants. The Yankees don't pivot and bring in Turner. Rodon's like, they don't have Judge. I'm not coming here. I'm not going to win anything. We were perilously close to one of the most depressing chapters in Yankee history. That has been averted. And now it's my belief that we're about to enter, hopefully, in terms of recent memory, one of the more energized chapters in baseball history. I think Cal's about to get nuts. 877-337-6666.